You aided Queen Irene in her ratification, correct? You do look like someone to know.
What kind of If you've come to bask in the splendor of my latest outdoor arrangement, you're too late. They're ruined, cast into unsightly disarray by a barbaric vandal. Just go home and spare yourself the disappointment. My garden, my art, has been violated, desecrated by some vulgar wood elf who thinks being raised in the wild gives him the right to pervert my designs. Now he's threatening my life. Can you believe it? Not just a garden, the very art of gardening. Eslian is waging a war on Altmer horticulture. I represent everything he despises, so he's targeting my work. He's gone too far this time, planting stranglers to ward me away. They could kill someone. Stranglers are a stubborn breed. Hacking them up would only be a temporary solution. What I need is proof that the wood elf is responsible, so he can't do any more damage. Perhaps Eslian left something at my gardens that could be incriminating? Weeks ago, Eslian came here to convince me that wilderness should be allowed to grow unchecked and untamed, as in Greenshade. Obviously, I found his argument lacking. It wasn't long after that the tampering began. Of course, but they are of little help. Can't spare time for criminal mischief. It seems sullying our pristine lands doesn't count among the worst things all these Nebara are up to. It's obvious who the culprit is, but I lack proof, so he runs free. The wood elf's tampering is sloppy, careless, maybe even thoughtless. I'm sure he's left traces of his work. A discarded trowel, foreign seeds, his own dung, or whatever a wood elf uses to fertilize soil. It'd be trivial if not for the stranglers. I am the foremost authority of the Altmer botanical arts. My vision has literally shaped the lay of the land from Alinor to Sunhold, and my best arrangements grace the royal palace. If you take issue with our methods, you take issue with me. Occasionally, there are always up-and-comers looking to stir up controversy or make their mark, but no one who desired any respect in the field would stoop to sabotage or assault. He called our wilderness sterile and artificial, nature as unruly and chaotic, but he's rather missing the point. Orderly cultivated gardens are a refinement of the raw. A plant lacks the intelligence to reach its true potential. It must be guided. Those monstrosities aren't native to any isle of Summerset, and they couldn't have crossed the seas naturally. Even if they could, the stranglers would be more widespread. They were brought here and planted deliberately among my arrangements.
over this way. Follow me. I don't think anything untoward's taken root here. Let's, have a chat, shall we? Hope those stranglers didn't hurt you. They're ornery buggers. Nearly ate my fool cousin one time, but he was so drunk that... no, never mind, not the time. As you can see, there's a bit of an infestation. Real mess. Has me a bit at a loss. Oh, have we met? Sorry, I don't remember. Never been good with names, or faces, or most details, really. Mom used to say my head would drift straight into the clouds if not for the canopy. Were you looking for me? Me? No. Well, yes, but not intentionally. You see, my brother's a bit of a prankster, and strangler seeds look a lot like white acacia. The short of it is, I did plant them. I just didn't know they were stranglers, and now I'm trying to get rid of them. Killing them's not the hard part. I'll brew a poison that'll choke the roots until they're brown in the fronds. Trouble is, can't think of a way to use it without breaking the Green Pact. It's a real moral quandary. Oh, yeah, that'd do. Whew, that's a load off my shoulders. Dribble a bit of this in the water sources around here and the stranglers should die off in a few weeks. Just the stranglers, though, promise. I should go apologise to Vinofoy for this. Oh, vandalise? Me? I'm not the one herding plants in a cramped little rows. Lashing vines to stakes, amputating the branches of perfectly healthy trees to warp them to some unnatural ideal. I was just showing her what natural beauty looks like. Well, the moment I spoke to her, I could tell she'd never seen untamed wilds. Her entire concept of nature is perverse, if I'm blunt. I thought if I could breathe some life into those sterile gardens, she might finally see what she's missing. Well, I'm sure this little misunderstanding with the stranglers didn't help my case, but that's a bit much. I should clear things up with Vinofoy before this situation gets any more out of control. All the stories I've heard about Summerset described it as a paradise. Pristine, idyllic, beautiful. The moment I heard the High Elves were opening the Isles to visitors, I knew I had to see them. Now that I'm here, it just feels fake. You know, artificial. Like everything is an imitation. It's like nothing can be its true self. Everything, down to the last blade of grass, has to be manicured. Forced to be something it's not. It's not beautiful. It's tyranny. But it's the wilderness. Birds make their nests and Bosmer grow their homes. But beyond those borders, it's Ifra's domain. I don't expect everyone to abide the Green Pact, but enslaving the land like this just feels wrong. Sort of a vow, a promise to the Green, that we'd protect it from harm and in return it would be our own. Now, I know we're not in Valenwood, but those seeds are of the Green, and the idea of harming them makes me sick to the core. Better believe it. Any Bosmer who so much as plucks a petal from the Green is doomed to the ooze. Song left unsung forever after. Like you never were. Even if you don't think much of yourself, there's something to fear in that. For you, sure, it's not your pact. For me, I'm hoping so. I'm supposed to protect the Green, but we're a long ways from there. Ifra, forgive me if I'm wrong.
Oh, I hear a breach nearby. You can't, can you? Count yourself lucky. Sounds like a swarm of bees bouncing around in a tin bucket full of sleigh bells. Sort of like that racket bards make.
You there! Come! I need assistance. Newcomer, I have been on my feet for nearly an hour, and I have just about had enough of it. Be so kind as to retrieve my absentee husband and my dear Eustasia, so I might be finished with this so-called leisure stroll. Of course they're missing. My fool husband let our prized hound off her leash to frolic along the beach. Poor Eustasia didn't know what to make of her freedom, and went charging off after a hare. Durell took off in pursuit, and I've seen neither since. Into the wilderness, off toward that old way shrine. How far could they have really gone? I would give anything to have my precious Eustasia safely in my arms again. Find her for me, and I will make it worth your while. I should be reclining on my lounge with a quarter-millennium-aged port, and Eustasia nestled in my bosom. But no. Durell insisted we take a stroll along the beach. Go traipsing off into the woods? What do you take me for? That's better left to people accustomed to such conditions. I am precisely as concerned as I need to be, but I don't see how that's any of your business. If Durell hadn't put me in this very awkward position, I wouldn't need to be concerned at all. A prized waxing terrier. It took 16 generations of careful selection to produce a breed distinct from the common Glenumbran terrier. The region is known for its impurities. I took it as a challenge. Merely a hobby, but one I excel at. My darlings have taken best in show at every show in Summerset. I have even been awarded a commendation for excellence in breeding by the Sapiarchs.
would make better neighbors than wood elves. Let's consider this spot.
We'll draw up the plans immediately.
Your aid was acceptable.
I told you, this is all just a misunderstanding. Oh, friend, a little help? Hi again. In a bit of a bind, as you can see. I tried to apologize, I really did, but she's telling the prosecution I've been terrorizing her. I could use some good news. How'd you fare with those stranglers? Oh, thank Ifra for that. It'll take some time for them to die off, but they'll be too sick to hurt anyone soon. Could you explain that to the good officers of the law here? How this was all an unfortunate accident and I helped make it right? I did meddle a bit, but I didn't mean any harm by it. Surely tossing me in jail's blowing the whole thing out of proportion, right? Promise I'll never do it again. I'll even transplant my additions someplace where they'll be appreciated. Oh, you're a regular saint. I knew the minute I met you that we'd be peas in a pod. You can count on me to do right by Vinifwe. Still don't agree with her, but I'll think of a better way to make my point once this is all blown over.
You must be the concerned bystander I'm hearing so much about. Both Vinifwe and Esleon claim you can prove their case, which begs all sorts of questions. But I don't have time for that, so let's cut to the heart of the matter. Is Esleon guilty? Given that your testimony is the only real evidence I have, I see no reason to continue dragging out this affair. Esleon will be fined for trespassing and criminal mischief, then released. If I see him here again, he will be jailed. Free the prisoner.
Sorry, really. Truly sorry I am. Won't happen again, officer.
You aren't seriously taking his side in this? A slap on the wrist. It'll take months, if not years, to restore my work to its original condition. You've done me and Summerset a great disservice today.
different.
Oh, my dear Eustacia! Look at her shaking! She's positively terrified! What happened? Yes. He commissioned this on the announcement of our wedding. Gaudy thing. He's dead, you say? Just like Durrell to leave me a mess to clean up. Keep that bauble for your trouble. It must be worth something to someone. Oh, what a disaster! It will take weeks to get the mats out of her coat. Well, I can't tell anyone he died chasing our dog into the woods, can I? It's beneath my dignity. I'll have one of the servants return for him after I've given Eustacia a proper bath. I imagine I'll say he was killed hunting or some such. You see the doe-eyed adoration of that dog? That's the look of a creature who loves too much for her own good. Bless her. Durrell was the same way, and look where that got him. I suggest you invest your own cares more prudently and move along.
My lady, we need to keep moving. You can't help Sunhold if
Why,
you're
look
dead.
at that. It seems help has arrived after all. As Kin Lady of Sunhold, I implore you to hear my plea. My city has been overrun by the Maormer, and Admiral Viscount declares only my death will stop this attack. He hates my family and demands my head, but I know surrender will not save my people. For centuries, Sunhold has been the first line of defense against Maormer raiders. Many of their soldiers have fallen by my family's command, and now, with our fleet gone and soldiers depleted, they've decided to strike. I need your help. Destroy the Maormer supplies gathered along the shore, rescue any citizen you find captured, and free Sunhold, a griffin, from capture. She's not only the city's symbol, she's also the best weapon we have at our disposal. Will you help? Kavid and I shall head to the Merchants' District. I need to investigate the area and see whether Maormer may be holding Sunhold's nobles prisoner. Meet me there when you've completed your tasks, and we'll assess the situation. Griffins have always been our city's symbol. Majestic, strong, fierce. Sunhold is often the first line of defense against invaders, and we need a griffin's strength. Sunhold just happens to embody that spirit, as her ancestors did before her. Not so much of a pet as a representation of the city's spirit. The ruling family has always kept a tame bloodline of the creatures. Well, tame as a griffin can be. I was practically raised alongside Sunhold. She's like a member of my family. Griffins are fiercely territorial. As soon as she's freed, Sunhold will hunt down those she perceives as invaders, and as a symbol of Sunhold, she'll also inspire my citizens to keep fighting. What Sunhold needs is hope, now more than ever. An invasion isn't too unusual for Sunhold, given the city's location. It's why we hold one of the best naval fleets in Summerset. However, most of our ships have been sent to help the war effort, and now it seems our worst fears have come to life. Yes, though it pains me to admit it. My city burns and my people are in chains. If only we could turn the tide, we might have a fighting chance to resist this invasion, at least until reinforcements can arrive. Admiral Viscount's cunning as a leader is the reason this invasion has been so successful. His death could turn the tide of battle, but he's far too protected to strike against. It is he who calls for my blood, as Kinlady of Sunhold. As Kinlady, I am the ruler of Sunhold. My death would leave my citizens without a leader to guide them. Even so, I would quickly give my life if I thought it would save my city. Only a fool trusts a sea snake. My death is only to sate the Maormer's hatred of those who have triumphed against them, a victory against Summerset. But as Kinlady, I also cannot hide while my city suffers. We must fight back.
the Marines to do it.
Should I call down another storm? That should knock the fight out of them.
The fool wouldn't know his stern from a seashell.
Keep your weapons within reach. Enemies lurk nearby. Captain said not to come back unless I had plunder and a prisoner.
You will tell me where the kin lady is.
Execute the nobles, now! Finally, a chance to defeat this resistance once and for all!
prefer to cast spells from the back of the line.
I can't save Kin Lady Helena with these wounds. It's up to you now. The Maormer were waiting for anyone stupid enough to raid supplies from the smithy. I tried to fight, but they grabbed the Kin Lady and ran off. You need to defeat Admiral Viscarn before it's too late. Sunhold won't last if the Kin Lady's killed.
Sunhold is already fallen. There's no hope left for you all.
You're the ones helping this wretch. I'll put a stop to your meddling once and for all. Did you truly think you could stop the mighty Marama? Already won. Why do you still fight? Victory was so close.
Thank the stars you arrived. I thought my life forfeit. Viscount was ranting before you came, burned supplies, released prisoners, a griffin now roaming the skies, picking off sea elves like the rats they are. Tell me, was that your doing? With Admiral Viscount dead, now is the time to strike. I shall rally my people and call Sunhold to my side. We'll form a resistance the likes of which these sea snakes have never known. Thank you for making this all possible. With the Maelmer down and Admiral Viscount defeated, I'm sure my citizens will join together and fight. All we have to do is keep Sunhold standing until help arrives. I'm glad he's all right. To think, not so long ago I argued against opening Summerset's borders, and yet without the help of newcomers, Sunhold would never have survived. I'll forever be grateful for the deeds you've done today.
Mastering a weapon.
A good suit.
garden.
Over the seas and far away. Over the seas and over the lake. For I ran all northern maid. The Lord's command and we obey. Over the seas and far away. A sailor lives a happy life, free of landbound's toil and strife. The soil he tills will be his grave, over the seas and far away. Over the seas and